He is a first-time felony offender. He had a parole eligibility date of November the 1st of 2013. He is not eligible for good time. He is serving a 15-year sentence on the charges of molestation of a juvenile, having been sentenced on November the 13th of 2009. Mr. Victorian, is all of that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Victorian, Ms. Jackson has been assigned your case. She will be the one to begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Victorian. How old are you?
I am 35 years old.
And you had a 15-year sentence for molestation of a juvenile, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How much of that sentence have you actually served?
I serve, it will be 14 years in November.
Tell us a little bit, Mr. Victorian, about what you did to commit this crime.
Can you please repeat it? It's breaking up.
Yeah. Could you tell us what you did to commit this crime?
Well, I had custody over my little cousin and I touched her in an inappropriate area and I got in trouble for it.
How old was your little cousin?
She was 16 at the time.
You would have been in your 20s?
Yes, ma'am, 20 years old.
How would you have had custody of a 16-year-old? When you say custody, what do you mean?
Well, what really happened was my cousins and them, they were on crack and they gave me the legal guardianship to watch over all of my little cousins, but they still stayed with my cousin. But I had like help them get up for school and get ready and just help them.
Well, how old was she when you committed this offense?
She was 16.
And how long had it been going on?
Oh, that was the first and only time that ever happened.
So what did you do? How did you touch her?
Oh, well, we were in the bed and we were playing, talking, and I touched her and
What part of her body?
in her vagina area.
Why were you in the bed with the 16-year-old?
Man, I was stupid and dumb and I wasn't thinking, and I wish I could take it back, but my mind.
Trying to understand what happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then, after you touched her, what did she do? How did it come to light? How did it get reported?
Oh, well, she told her mom that I had touched her, and her mom, asked questions. They went to the police station, and I told them, yes, I touched my little cousin. Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Victorian. How far did you go in school?
I'm a high school graduate, and I finished my bachelor's degree in being.
We'll get to that, but I mean, you had graduated from high school.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And were you working?
Yes, ma'am. I was a CNA.
So you went to some sort of school to be trained as a CNA. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old were you when you started working as a CNA?
I started working as a CNA at the age of 19.
What kind of facility?
I was working at Kinder Rehabilitation Center.
Okay, and how long did you work there?
I worked there for about a year and a half, and I moved to Blessed Care out of Lake Charles for home health.
Well, let me just stop you here because we do have a letter. 'Cause indicating that the victim was a young lady named Ashley. Is that correct?
No, ma'am, it was, my victim name was Latasha Smith.
Well, do you know Ashley?
Yes, ma'am, that is her little sister.
Well, we have indication that Ashley was also the victim. It says, according to the records, the victim, Ashley Horn, was 11 years of age at the time the offense was committed.
Well,
Miss Way, today's the day to tell the truth. Miss Victoria, today's the day to tell the truth. Because we have, records before us. So it doesn't help you to tell us something that we can show is not true. So I need you to be honest with me today.
well, I was under the impression of when I took my time that Ashley was in the room, but I was under the impression that I'm convicted of molestation of a juvenile over the age of 13, so it couldn't have been.
Oh, no, sometimes they let you plead guilty to over 13 because under 13 carries a much more severe penalty. And it's not unusual to be allowed to plead guilty to something that isn't factually correct because of the reduction of the penalty.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, it troubles me when when given the opportunity, particularly after 13 years of reflection, is still not being honest. That's a problem for me.
Yes.
Now you want to start over and you want to tell us what really happened?
Well, okay, it all started with FEMA putting us in a hotel room, and I was in a hotel room with my little cousin Ashley, my little cousin Travis, and my cousin Latasha. I never, when this came up, I was accused of touching my other little cousins because they was following what my oldest cousin said, but I have never touched my younger cousins. I mean, I did. I'm telling the truth. I did touch my 16-year-old cousin. I did, and I take full responsibility to that. But I have never, ever touched my other little cousin. No, I didn't.
So tell us about your sex offender treatment. Tell us how many phases of sex offender treatment you've completed.
Well, I completed phase 1 through 3.
No, and tell us something about sex offender treatment. What did you learn about yourself and why you would have committed this crime? Tell us about what you got out of sex offender treatment.
Well, in the sex offender classes, I learned how to recognize myself and where I went wrong.
Okay, right there. What did you recognize about yourself and where you went wrong?
I recognized that my thinking was wrong. I really thought that, it was all right to do that, and the classes helped me realize and gave me the tools to really look inside myself and see, man, it's not right to hurt anyone or anyone else.
Why do you think you thought it was right to do that? What was going on that would make you think it was right for you to touch your cousin inappropriately?
Well, honestly, I was molested as a child, and nothing ever happened to my uncle who did that to me. And I just thought it was the right way to go. Like, I mean, nothing gonna happen. I mean, just do it. And I'm sorry.
All right.
Just do it at all.
All right. Well, let me. I'm not gonna have you relive those experiences.
Yes, ma'am.
But I will, ask you what your uncle did to you affect you mentally and emotionally?
tremendously.
So how do you think what you did to your cousin affected her?
And I have thought of that over the years. I think of that every day.
So what do you think, how do you think it's affected her?
Well, through what I went through, I know it's affect her mentally because you feel unworthy. You feel just like you're how can I say that? Your peace,
And what you're saying?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I understand.
You don't have that connection like with other people, and it just makes you want to just be antisocial, and mentally you feel like you're not worth it, you're degraded, you just don't have a will for nothing. Yes, ma'am.
Uh, so there's also a phase 4 of sex offense, is that correct?
Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
What happened with phase 4?
Oh, with stage 4 of my sexual treatment, they told me it was optional and if I wanted to instruct the class, but I wanted to have time to get in other classes too to help better myself.
Okay. Did they tell you how you could benefit personally from instructing the class?
No, ma'am.
What other classes did you get into?
Well, first I got into faith-based classes so I could get closer to God. And then I worked on myself and I got living in balance, pre-release, cage and rage, because I wanted to dig inside myself and see where I went wrong, because it obviously is wrong because I hurt so many people. And after that, I really,
Let me ask you this. Living in balance addresses substance abuse issues.
yes,
Were you a drug user or abuser?
I was
before you-
I'm sorry. I was a abuser. I used alcohol and drugs. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of drug?
I really drunk a lot for a young man. Yeah, I drunk a lot, and I did weed, and then ecstasy pills came in, and I took them, and Somers, anything to just get.
When you say you drank a lot, what's a lot?
Ooh, I wake up in the morning before I go to work. I drink a fifth of E&J, and I had just Bud Lights. Just I would get free beer from the store, so I just had cases and cases of Bud Light and drink that all day, and I knew I had a problem.
Did you ever get any treatment before coming to prison?
No, ma'am, I never did.
And besides what'd you learn in living in balance about your substance abuse problems?
Well, the most important thing I took from living in balance is to learn my triggers. What makes me want to drink? What makes me want to use drugs, and how to stay away from them and fill my time with other things as an exercise and
What were your triggers or what are your triggers?
my triggers is usually depression. I was sad, and I might go through something not going my way, and the first thing I do is drink or get loaded, and I learned I can't control everything.
Have you ever participated in AA or NA?
Yes, ma'am. I participated in AA and NA back in 2014.
How long did you do that?
I did AA and NA at Richwood, Louisiana before I got shipped for at least 90 days.
Okay. And when you got shipped, where were you shipped to?
From Richwood, I went to LaSalle.
How long did you stay in LaSalle?
About 7 months.
How long have you been where you are now?
I've been here since 2014.
Do they have AA meetings there where you are now?
They started it, but I think with the pandemic, it kind of went out. But I think they still have it. I think they still, yes, sir.
So you didn't think maybe you needed to enroll in that again?
Well, I probably should have. Yes, ma'am. I probably should have. Yes, ma'am.
I see you received a bachelor's degree from Wiley College in 2021. Tell us about that and what did you get your bachelor's degree in?
Well, I earned my bachelor's degree in business management from Wiley College. And I really just wanted tools. So I knew I was about to come home and I wanted tools to let me be productive to society. And so I have tools to work and to lead other people. Yes, ma'am.
You're in work release now.
No, ma'am. I'm not on work release.
Are you eligible for work release?
No, ma'am.
Because of your charge?
Yes, ma'am.
You had 18 write-ups, is that correct? That's what I saw in your disciplinary record, about 18 write-ups.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm showing the last one was in 2017.
Yes, ma'am.
You remember that one?
Yes, ma'am. I do remember that.
Tell us about it. What happened?
Well, after gym call, I had passed up my unit trying to finish the conversation I had with my friend, and I passed up my unit, and the captain seen that he knew me and seen I passed my unit, so he wrote me up on a unauthorized area.
Yeah, that's where it shows an unauthorized area. So when you are released, tell us what your transition plan is. Where would you live? What kind of work would you do? Tell us about that.
Well, when I am released, I'm moving back in with my mom. She's let me stay with her. She stays in a little town called Oberlin, Louisiana. And I have a big support system, and they work. I come from a very, very hardworking family, and I'm starting from scratch. So anything that's available to me, I will take it without a heartbeat.
So you plan to move to Overland and live with your mom, is that
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have any idea where your cousins live?
They spread it out. So right now, I don't keep contact. I don't know.
You don't know if they're in Overland?
Oh no, they're not in Oberlin.
What's the closest big city to Overland?
Up Lake Charles.
And how far is that from Lake Charles?
It's about 35 minutes from Lake Charles.
Warren, what can you tell us, if anything, about Mr. Victorian?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Jackson. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, he's been with us since 2014. He had some troubles in the beginning with his conduct, but in the last 5 years, he's done much better. He's completed some good classes. He's a Strive member in our honor program, so he's done well with that. I did not realize through our conversation yesterday when I met with him that he had, such a drinking problem, as I found out today. So that concerns me, obviously. And I have him on backlog for our victim impact class that we recently started here. He's scheduled to begin that in September. So, no matter the board's decision today, I would recommend that he complete that prior to his release. And, probably needs some more serious AANA help.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your input.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Victorian, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before the board votes?
Yes, sir. I would like to use this opportunity to truly express how I really feel to my victim and to her family. How sorry I am, because not only did I disrespect their trust, I destroyed it. And I take full responsibilities for my actions. And I wish I knew how to fix it, but I don't know how. So I continue to pray for them every day. Every day I pray. And in 2019, I really realized how precious life is. So I don't want to hurt nobody else's. I almost lost my life due to blood clots in my lungs. And it made me analyze my life. And I just want my journey, my failures, my accomplishments, so others can use it and just know that through persistence, faith, dedication, and understanding of self, that they can make it too. And thank y'all for giving me an opportunity to speak what's on my heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victorian. Well said. Ms. Jackson, board ready to vote?
All right, Mr. Victorian, I thought you had a good interview today. It took a little while to break through some things, but, we were able to get there. Your full term date is in November of 2023. So a little over a year from now, you'll be released and you won't be on any kind of supervision. My vote today would be to grant your early release upon completion of victim awareness. Because I think to transition, I think you can use that year of supervised probation on the outside to make sure that you get out on the right foot.
Yes.
And so I would add a condition of that supervision that you attend at least 2 AA or NA meetings per week, and that you have no contact with the victims in these cases.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Ms. Bonacci.
Mr. Victorian, I enjoyed listening to the conversation. I appreciate your honesty this morning. I want to congratulate you on your achievement earning your bachelor's degree. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you're very proud of that. And you should
Yes,
be.
ma'am.
And the other programs that you availed yourself to and participated in. My vote today also would be to grant because of the proximity of your full-term date. And you have a low risk score and you've done good programs. Again, but after you complete the victim impact class that the warden mentioned. The only special condition that I would add to what Mrs. Jackson has already said, after release, I'd like you to get a mental health evaluation and follow any counseling program or plan they may prescribe for it. Good luck.
Yes. Thank you.
Mr. Victorian, you have 2 votes to grant your parole. I likewise echo what my colleagues have said. It's been a pleasure listening to you. You had a very good interview. You were very honest with us. It took a little while, but Judge Jackson's pretty good at pulling the teeth. She
Yeah.
got you.
Yes.
My vote likewise is to grant with the following special conditions. Number 1, you must first complete the victim awareness program. And once you are released, you will have at least 2 AA meetings per week, as well as a mental health evaluation, and follow whatever treatment is recommended, and no contact whatsoever with the victims in this case.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good
sir.
luck to you.
Thank you.
Warden, thank you very much for your.
I'm kind of confused. I don't know why they are considering that an honest interview. I don't believe that he wasn't doing it to his other niece. You know, he has the offense for the 16-year-old niece, which he claims was the first time, which I don't believe. And then he has the offenses for an 11-year-old, not niece, sorry, cousin. An 11-year-old. I mean, we don't have, you know, their records, and the board is seeming to take it for his word, but I don't personally know why I would believe it. And, you know, there's certain parts that I guess did feel honest. I do feel that he was abused. It's in a way that he described his emotions and what he was feeling. It seemed, you know, authentic, not something he just read out of a book. But what stuck out to me was that he said, my uncle did it to me, and he never got caught. He never got in trouble. So why wouldn't I do it to other people? That was what he said. And that just seems strange to me. Like, what does he mean by that? Well, because he wasn't in trouble and he got away with it, it's okay. But you felt like whatever, nothing would happen to you because I don't really understand that. Now trauma passes down to trauma. But I think that the danger is the board commending him on honesty if he wasn't being honest. And, you know, you might say, well, you're being too hard, man. He opened up. He did. The thing is, I'm so jaded. I've seen so many of these hearings where there's so much manipulation. I mean, the warden said that was the first time he heard about the alcohol. He said he drinks a fifth in the morning every day. You know, a fifth, that's a full bottle, 750. I mean, that's a full bottle of alcohol in the morning. It's possible people do it, but man, I mean, if that's actually true, or is he just saying it? Um, 10-year sentence. He served basically all of it. They want him on supervision, you know. It's just the whole thing is just, the whole system's just broken. I mean, it's just pain all around for everyone. And you just see how the trauma gets passed from generation to generation. At some point, it just needs to stop. But he is out. What's strange is that, you know, Richard found information. It's three registration forms. It says level. So there's 1, 2, or 3. 1 being the most severe, 2 less severe, 3 the most severe, and it just says not yet assigned. And it says that on all of his registrations, which is quite confusing to me. I mean, this hearing took place a little more than a year ago, and still says that it's not assigned yet. But he was released on January 10th, 2023. So, anyways, wanted to share with you. And with that, I'll let you go.